Okay, so I'm just going to play a little bit of the speech that was one of the speeches that was at the rally on the 27th of the 11th, 2021, about freedom. So yeah, let's give it a play and we'll get into what it actually means. All right, he's saying that he's going to hold politicians and bureaucrats accountable, but he won't stop there. All right, just remember he said that. All right, I wonder how he's going to go about doing that. So I'm just going to cue it up and I'll be right back. Okay, so very emotive words, so let's listen to some more. All right.
And we start with this one, and it will be right. Don't walk away from the war. The war for freedom. This is just a battle.
All right. Excuse me. The war for freedom. I'd like to hear him define it. Let's see what he says next about how to win the war for freedom.
We need you. There are 2 elections next year, one federal, one state, and we need you to stay engaged, to support freedom-friendly minor parties, to become members, to volunteer, to stand on polling booths, to become a candidate even. You may be wondering what difference will I make if I go along. I'm just one person. Well, you're just one person here as well. But look at us.
All right, I'm going to stop it there. So his solution to freedom is to use the political system, and let's get all of us behind the political system, because we're just one person, can't do much alone, but together we're going to use the political system to get our freedom. All righty, so let's just make sure that that's clear in everyone's mind. All right, so most people, when you ask them what freedom is, they don't give you a clear definition that's discoverable. By discoverable, I mean it's universal, it's agreed upon by everyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you one here, and let's see if that fits with the political solution that was suggested as our way to freedom. So freedom, the positive external expression of natural law. What is natural law? That is that which is permanent and binding on all of us, that we did not create, did not have a say in, yet we are bound to it. Example, if you believe that you can levitate off a cliff, that's your belief. Why don't you go and run off the cliff and see if that happens? What happens next is what you will discover. What you will discover is natural law. You are going to find out in the worst, most possible way how your beliefs are different to the knowledge of what natural law is. Okay, so that's a quick rundown of what natural law is. An expression of it is to understand that you are bound by its laws. You do not create. It's a termed external anarchy, no external ruler. An means absence of. Archy comes from the Greek word archon, which means ruler. So absence of a ruler externally, so a ruler outside yourself. Hence the absence of slavery. That is what true freedom is. It's true freedom is something that happens for all of us, not some of us. So true freedom for all is only possible through mankind's adherence to natural law. If we understand how to work in harmony with natural law, we will all have the best freedom we possibly can. All right, so that's just a quick explanation of it. And is politics the way to get freedom for all? Well, let's see. All right, anyone who's interested, this is democracydefined.org. It's the definitive works of what democracy is. So if we just scroll down a little bit, I have the right to vote, therefore I live in a democracy, right? Wrong. Suffrage, which means voting, does not define democracy. So we're just going to quickly scroll down here. You guys can find this out for yourselves. There's definitive works. If you're a reader, please go here. Illegal arbitrary dispossession of homes is what we've all been going through. Fabricated financial crisis, can't say that right. Unwarranted taxation, unemployment and intolerable government, molestation in the lives of innocent men and women. are all addressed herein. The catastrophic criminal inhumanity wrought upon whole populations by the minuscule number of men and women responsible for for permitting, abetting the crime of usury, money lending at interest, fraudulent fractional reserve lending, the issuance of national and international currency and credit at interest by non-national de facto privately owned central banks. This ubiquitous global crimes, the ubiquitous global crimes and lethality of international monetary organizations and World Bank are confronted. So, however, above all, it is the criminality of participants in the latter-day justice systems which is exposed. So that's just a quick look into it. I'm going to go into trial by jury because there's just something really important said here about, I just got to find it. So here it is. Within the continent of Europe, to a great extent, within modern Britain, and the collective awareness that all Europeans once universally shared a constitutional ideal that has been eroded by political miseducation. So that's what politics is going to get you there, right there. Miseducation and what a constitution is. That's what you're going to get by voting. All right, I'm going to go into voting in a little bit more detail. All right, so we've been told what voting is democracy. So let's see what democracy isn't. Suffrage, voting in elections, leads to totalitarian communist fascist states. Do we need to say any more about today's situation and how we got here? Referenda, this is how the so-called act to constitute the, Commonwealth of Australia, which is not even a thing. There's only one Commonwealth, it's the Commonwealth of Great Britain. I mean, the fraud's just written all over the place. An act to constitute, how do you act to constitute something? Parliament cannot constitute anything. Anyway, that was put up for referendum. So people voted for a fraud. And that's not democracy either. Legislatorial voting by representatives is not democracy. All it does is it creates consensus politics, which just means domination control. That's what you get from voting. And this is what he's advocating for. That's what he's saying is going to lead you to freedom for all Victoria. All right, so now we're going to go into a little bit of detail. A lot of this I pulled out from that very website, democracy.org. Jurisdiction, what it is. Juris just means law in Latin. Diction is to speak. So really to speak law, which is just a construct anyway. We don't have a better word for it, so I'm just going to use it. Government has no authority to tamper with the structure of which itself is only a part. It cannot write itself into constitutional authority. Remember what I said, an act to constitute, that's what Parliament did. It had an act to constitute the Commonwealth of Australia, which doesn't exist, which most people believe is their protection. This is the fraud they've been running from day one, guys. That is what you'd be voting for if you think that you're going to vote yourself into freedom. All right, you'll be voting yourself into this, the domination control hierarchy structure. Head of state is at the top, legislature down is three arms of government, in the centre is the judiciary, and on the other side is the executive wing, which is the police and the prisons, the ones who execute the orders of the judiciary. The judiciary is meant to keep these people to account. Interesting how we've got a judge that does that. What is a judge? I believe it's an employee of this section here. Yes. Is the employee of this part of government going to keep their boss accountable? Are you able to keep your boss accountable at work? Well, it's the same system that's running here. That's what you're voting for. If you go and use the political system, you are voting for entire fraud. This is a fake court. This is not a real court. All right, and look where we are, down here. That's what's going to happen. So you're going to say that there's all these people here that you're going to put in, the minor parties, etc. They're going to do a way better job while we've still got this system running here, all right, which is totally corruptible by whoever's in here, which is the monarch, in our system here in the Westminster system, which is whose strings are being pulled by the Vatican. So that's what you believe is going to lead you to freedom. That's what he's telling you. I'm going to leave it there because I want to keep these short, and I'm going to come back with another one that goes in a little more detail and shows you the actual way that you can actually get your freedom back through the correct constitution, not this phony one that we've been living under for over 100 years. All right, leave it there for now.